The sky tore open above the desert like a scar. A fireball streaked across the horizon. Trailing smoke and glowing sparks, Tom stood on the roof of his small outpost. Shielding his eyes from the bright light, it vanished behind the rocky hills. In the distance, with a distant rumble, something had crashed. Tom narrowed his eyes. Most people in the nearby towns would ignore it, thinking it was a meteor or military junk. But Tom was different. He lived alone on the edge of the wasteland and had made a living by scavenging crashed ships and machines. He grabbed his gear, strapped his toolkit to his hoverbike, and started the engine. As he sped across the dry land, the wind kicked up dust behind him. The sun was low, turning the sky golden. It took him an hour to reach the valley, a place full of broken stones and deep ridges. He spotted black smoke rising between two large cliffs. The crash site was quiet, but the damage was clear. A sleek alien shuttle was half buried in the rocky ground. Its metal hull was scorched, and one of its wings was torn off. Blue sparks popped from the engines. Tom parked at a safe distance, scanned for traps or signals, and moved in. The door of the shuttle was open, tilted sideways from the crash. Inside, broken lights flickered weakly. Tom stepped in carefully, holding a flashlight. Then he saw her. She was slumped against the wall, breathing hard. Her skin was smooth and light purple, with faint silver patterns glowing under her arms. Her long white hair was tangled, and a deep cut ran across her forehead. Her body was shaking. She clutched her stomach with both hands. Tom's eyes widened. She was pregnant. He knelt beside her and checked her pulse. It was fast but steady. Her eyes opened slightly, and she looked at him with confusion and fear. She tried to speak, but the words were strange, and her translator unit was cracked and blinking red. "It's all right," Tom said, voice calm. "I'm here to help. I won't hurt you." She didn't understand the words, but something in his tone made her stop struggling. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small medkit. He cleaned the cut on her head, gave her water, and checked her breathing. She winced in pain, and her hands gripped her stomach again. Tom realized she was close to giving birth or in danger of losing the babies. He couldn't leave her there. Tom wrapped her in a blanket, lifted her carefully into the hoverbike's side crate, and took off back toward his shelter. The ride was slow and careful. Every bump made her groan. He kept looking back, hoping she would stay awake. His bunker was hidden under a hill, half covered in sand and surrounded by scrap piles. It wasn't fancy, but it had working power, a clean room, and medical supplies. He carried her inside, placed her on a soft bed, and connected a monitor to her wrist. "Hold on," he whispered. The translator on her neck sparked again. Tom opened a panel, connected a small wire from his toolset, and rebooted it. After a short buzz, a weak robotic voice came through. "Help, danger. They hunt us." Tom leaned closer. "Who's hunting you?" The woman took a breath. Her voice was faint and shaky. "Slavers. They chased me, shot me down. I ran for my children." Tom blinked. "You're having twins?" She nodded. "Special bloodline, rare trait. They want them. Must keep them safe." Her eyes closed, but her breathing was calm. She had fallen asleep from exhaustion. Tom sat beside her for a moment, thinking. He had never seen her species before, but he had heard stories of alien tribes beyond the star tribes that lived with honor and mystery. If what she said was true, others would come looking for her, and not all would be friendly. He stood up and started working. He activated the defense grid, camouflaged the entrance with scrap metal, and set up silent alarms around the perimeter. Then he cooked a warm broth and kept checking on her condition. That night, as the desert wind howled outside, Tom sat by her side. The bunker was quiet except for the hum of machines and the woman's steady breathing. Suddenly, the alarm flashed. Once, a quick red blink. Tom's heart jumped. He grabbed his scope and climbed to the roof silently. In the distance, near the place where the shuttle had crashed, a small drone hovered in the air, scanning the ground. It wasn't local. The design was sharp, black, and silent. A tracking drone. They were still looking for her. He returned inside and shut the hatch tightly. He looked at her sleeping form, and the small monitor showing the twin heartbeats. Whoever you are, he said softly, you picked the right crash site. He stayed awake that night, watching the monitors, guarding her with quiet determination. He didn't know her name or where she came from, but he knew one thing: she needed help. And Tom, the lonely dessert mechanic, was the only one who had answered. The dessert sun rose quietly, casting long shadows across the sand inside Tom's underground shelter. The woman lay resting, her breathing slow and steady. Tom stood nearby, checking a small screen that showed her condition. Her body was stable, but her energy levels were low. The unborn twins were still safe. Tom stepped into the kitchen space and warmed up a bowl of broth. He placed it on a tray and walked back to her. As he entered, her eyes opened slowly. Are you the one who saved me? She asked through the weak translator. Tom nodded. Yeah, you crashed. I found you. She tried to sit up, but her arms were shaking. Tom quickly helped her sit against a cushion. She looked around, eyes scanning the walls and blinking at the old human tools stacked in corners. Where is this place? She asked. My shelter. I live out here. Not many visitors. Not much trouble either. Her eyes softened. Thank you. You helped me when no one else would. Tom gave her the bowl. Eat something. You need strength. Your babies are still. All right, but your body's weak. She nodded and took slow sips. After a few minutes, her voice became clearer. My name is Rena. I'm from the planet Norun. My people are peaceful, but we're hunted. My bloodline carries an ancient gift. The children I carry, they're rare. The ones who shot me down want to capture us. Tom sat on a metal chair beside her. What do they want with the children? They want control. My people are not soldiers, but some off-world groups use our traits for control and trade. My twins will be born soon. If they take them, they'll turn them into tools. Tom's jaw tightened. Not if I can stop it. Rena looked at him with surprise. You would protect children not your own? Tom shrugged. No one deserves to be hunted. You fell from the sky, injured and alone. I did what was right. There was silence for a while. Rena leaned back, touching her belly gently. They're moving, she whispered. They feel safe. Tom stood up. Let me check your translator. The voice is a bit broken. She leaned forward, and Tom opened the small panel behind her neck. He removed the cracked circuit and replaced it with a part from his own toolkit. The translator restarted, and the voice became smoother. Better, she said. Good. We'll need to talk more soon. He glanced at a screen nearby. The silent alarm he set last night had triggered again. A small blinking red dot showed something moving near the crash site. It wasn't the drone this time. It was something heavier. Someone scouting near your ship, Tom said. We don't have long. Rena's face turned pale. They found the crash. Maybe not yet, but they're looking. Tom grabbed his rifle and checked the power cell. He then turned to Rena. Can you move if needed? She shook her head. Not fast, but I can hide. Then we prepare for the worst. Over the next few hours, Tom worked fast. He reinforced the bunker entrance and activated a commo field outside. He placed small noise traps near the hills. He loaded emergency supplies and water bottles near a back tunnel that led to a hidden escape path. Inside, Rena rested on the bed, her eyes sometimes closing, sometimes watching him work. She spoke softly. You're not like other humans I've seen in the stars. You're calm, careful, not cruel. Tom looked over his shoulder. I used to be a soldier, saw things I wish I hadn't. I left all that behind. Came out here to fix things instead of break them. Rena smiled faintly. You fix people too. Tom didn't respond, but there was a small nod as night fell. The winds picked up again. The desert always grew colder after sundown. Inside the shelter, Tom dimmed the lights and sat at the main monitor. He checked the sensors. Nothing yet, but something felt wrong. He stood and moved to the roof exit. Quietly, he climbed up and crawled to the edge of the hill. Using his scope, he scanned the area. In the moonlight, he saw shadows, 3 figures, moving near the crash site. They wore dark suits and carried energy rifles. They weren't searching anymore. They were tracking. Tom returned to the bunker fast. We're out of time, he told her. Rena sat up, her eyes alert. Can you escape? I can. But I'm not leaving you. She placed a hand on his. Then I will not slow you down. Tom moved to a locker and opened a secret compartment. Inside was a short-range jammer, an old Earth military tool. He activated it. It would hide their signal for a short time. He also handed Rena a small stun device. Use this if they reach you. Aim for the neck. She nodded and held it tight. Tom moved back to the control panel. The sensors picked up heat signals. The enemies were now approaching the shelter. He whispered to himself, "Let's see how much fight I have left." Rena's voice stopped him. "If anything happens to me, please protect the twins." Tom looked at her, then at her belly. The small lives moved inside, unaware of the danger outside. His voice was steady, "I will." And as the silent night pressed on, the shadows outside grew closer. But inside, a mechanic turned savior and a soon-to-be mother waited, ready for whatever came next. Tom crouched near the entrance of the shelter, watching the monitor closely. 3 red dots moved slowly across the screen. The raiders were closing in. The heat signals showed they were armed and spreading out, trying to surround the area inside. The room, Rena sat quietly, her back resting against the bed. Her face looked calm, but her eyes showed worry. One hand rested on her swollen stomach. She could feel her children shifting again. They were sensitive to danger, and the stress of the moment was making them restless. Tom turned to her. "It's starting. Stay hidden. If anyone other than me enters, use the stun device." Rena nodded. "I trust you." Tom checked his rifle one last time. It was old but still reliable. He had placed smoke grenades near the front path and noise mines across the southern side. The bunker had only 2 entrances, the main door and the old tunnel exit behind the storage room. He had sealed the tunnel, but he kept a key switch ready, in case they needed to run. The first sound came at midnight, a soft crunch of footsteps on gravel. Tom watched through a hidden camera. One of the raiders stepped onto the sand trap near the fence. The pressure triggered a blast of thick smoke and a sudden flash of light. The man shouted in surprise and fell back. Another figure dashed forward from the left, only to be caught in a wire trap. It lifted him into the air, hanging upside down and spinning slowly. Tom tapped a button and activated the speaker. Wrong place. His voice echoed from a speaker hidden in the scrap pile. "Turn around before it gets worse." The third raider didn't hesitate. He fired a shot at the shelter wall. The blast bounced off the reinforced plating. Then he rushed forward, leaping over debris. Tom opened the hatch and rolled out a shock mine. It hit the ground and released an electric burst. The raider fell flat, twitching from the jolt. Tom moved fast, stepped out, and stunned him with one clean shot to the shoulder. The man dropped. Tom dragged the unconscious body to the edge and returned inside. But he wasn't fast enough. A second shot struck the edge of the doorway. A fourth raider, hidden until now, appeared from behind the rocks. He fired again. Sparks flew. Tom ducked behind the metal wall, reloading quickly. Inside, Rena flinched. Her breathing grew uneven, and she gripped her stomach tightly. Tom heard the noise and rushed in. "What's happening?" he asked. "They're coming," she said. "But the twins, they feel it too. I think it's starting." The birth, Tom stared at her, heart racing. "Now," Rena nodded, sweat forming on her forehead. "I can't stop it." Tom's mind raced. The enemy was still outside. But he couldn't leave her like this. He activated the final defense to small turrets. He had saved for emergencies. They slid out of the wall near the entrance and locked onto any moving heat signature. Then he turned to Rena. "We'll do this together. You're safe here. No one will get through." Rena leaned back as another wave of pain passed through her. Tom helped her lie down properly. He grabbed the medical bot and activated the birthing mode. The bot extended to soft arms with scanning tools and clean cloths. Rena guided Tom through the first steps. She had done training for this, but not like this, not in the middle of a battle. As the bot scanned, it confirmed what Rena already knew. The twins were ready. Outside, the The turrets fired short bursts. Someone screamed, then silence, but Tom's focus was inside now. Minutes passed. The shelter was filled with soft whirring sounds, beeping monitors, and Rena's strained breaths. Tom held her hand and followed every instruction. He had never done this before, but he stayed calm. Rena cried out one final time, and the first baby arrived. A tiny alien boy with soft silver skin and glowing blue eyes. The baby didn't cry loudly. Instead, he looked around and reached toward Tom. Tom gently held him in a clean cloth, stunned by the strange warmth coming from the child. The second baby came soon after, a girl, with matching eyes and a soft, humming sound from her chest. Rena wept with relief. "They're here," she whispered. Tom handed her the babies. She held them close, tears rolling down her cheeks. "They're strong," he said quietly. Rena nodded. "And they know you." Tom looked down. Both children turned their heads toward him, tiny arms stretching in his direction. Their eyes locked onto his. They blinked, and a soft glow passed between them. It felt like recognition. Rena noticed it too. This is rare," she said. "They are newborn, yet they respond to your presence." Tom felt strange. "Why? In my people's ways." Rena said, "If a child is born in danger, and someone saves the mother during birth, the child bonds with that person. It is ancient instinct. They see you as protector, as master." Tom sat down slowly, unsure what to say. Outside, the wind picked up. The danger seemed to have passed, at least for now. Rena leaned back, eyes closed, her voice soft. "You were meant to find us, Tom. I don't know how, but the twins had chosen." Tom looked at the babies again. Both had fallen asleep in her arms, but one of them still held a tiny hand toward him. He didn't move. The war outside was not over. The threats would return. But in this quiet moment, Tom realized something deep inside had changed. He wasn't just a scavenger anymore. He had a purpose. Now, morning came slowly over the desert hills. The wind was softer now, brushing dust over the shelter's roof inside. The bunker was quiet except for the low hum of machines and the soft breathing of the newborn twins. Tom sat near the bed, watching the two babies sleep peacefully in Rena's arms. Their small bodies rose and fell in rhythm, and their glowing eyes flickered open now and then, focusing only on him. "They haven't taken their eyes off you since the moment they were born," Rena said quietly. Tom looked at her. She looked tired but calm. Her skin had regained color, and the pain had faded. "Maybe they're just curious," Tom said, trying to keep his voice light. "No," Rena said. "This is more than curiosity. They have accepted you." Tom raised an eyebrow. "Accepted me? What does that mean exactly?" "In my culture," she began, holding the twins closer. "When a child is born during a time of danger, they form a bond with the one who keeps them safe. You didn't just protect me. You helped bring them into the world. You touched them before I did. That bond is very strong. It is old. Some call it soul binding. Others call it kin master." Tom rubbed the back of his neck. "Kin master. That's a big title." Rena smiled. "It means they trust you more than anyone. They will follow you, learn from you, even listen to your voice more than mine." At times, Tom glanced at the twins. One of them, the boy, blinked at him and smiled. The girl reached out with her tiny hand, fingers twitching gently. Tom slowly extended his finger, and she gripped it. "They're strange," he said softly, "but beautiful." Rena nodded. "They carry something ancient inside them, traits not seen for many generations." Tom stood and walked to the main console. The monitor showed the outside sensors. No new movement. The raiders were gone, at least for now. He activated the signal blocker. Again, just in case. "Do you think more will come?" he asked. "They always do," Rena said. "The ones who want power never give up easily. But they don't know about this place. And they don't know about you." Tom checked the supply levels. Food and water were enough for a few weeks. Power cells were still strong. He looked at the small storage room beside the living space. "I should make a proper place for them. They'll need somewhere to sleep. You're already thinking like a father, Rena said, her tone soft. Tom looked at her, unsure how to reply. He spent the next few hours working on a small space for the twins. He cleared out one of the storage corners, added soft blankets, and even carved out a wooden frame for support. Rena watched from the bed, sometimes whispering to the babies, sometimes smiling quietly at Tom's effort. Later that day, Tom prepared simple food, warm broth with soft bread, and sat with Rena while they ate. You've been alone a long time, haven't you? Rena asked. Tom nodded. Since the war ended, I couldn't go back to the cities. Too noisy. Too many memories. So I came here to fix machines, stay quiet. And now, she asked. He looked at the twins, who were crawling clumsily on the bed, trying to follow the sound of his voice. Now, things are different. That evening, Rena placed the twins in their new space. They settled in quickly, humming softly in their sleep. The soft blue light from their skin filled the small corner like a night lamp. Tom sat nearby, sharpening tools and keeping an eye on the monitors. Suddenly, Rena stood and walked toward him. She held a small silver pendant in her hand, shaped like a spiral star. In my tribe, when someone is chosen by the children, we give this, she said. It means you are now part of our circle, not by blood, but by action. She placed the pendant in Tom's hand. You're their kin master, but that also means you're one of us. Tom looked at the pendant, then at her. I didn't plan for any of this, he said. Neither did I, she replied, but the universe chose. He placed the pendant around his neck without a word. Somehow, it felt right. That night, as the dessert cooled again, Tom couldn't sleep. He walked to the roof, sat on the edge, and looked at the stars. The sky was clear. The same stars that once felt cold and far now looked different. He heard soft footsteps behind him. It was Rena, carrying a light cloth around her shoulders. They're both asleep, she said. For now. Tom nodded. I've been thinking. About what comes next? Rena sat beside him. I have contacted my tribe once, long ago. I sent a signal, but I don't know if it reached. They might come. Maybe weeks from now. Maybe longer. Tom nodded slowly. And when they come, they will ask who protected me, who the twins bonded with. When they learn the truth, they may treat you differently, good or bad. Both, she said. Some will respect you. Others may not understand why a human was chosen. Tom sighed. Well, I've never been good at fitting in anyway. Rena looked at him. You're not alone anymore. He turned his head and saw her eyes glowing gently in the moonlight. No, he said. I'm not. Inside the shelter, the twins stirred for a moment. They didn't cry. They simply turned toward each other, then back toward the sound of Tom's voice coming from the rooftop, and they smiled. The days passed quietly after the attack. Tom repaired the damage outside the shelter and checked the traps daily. No more raiders came, and the desert wind returned to its normal whisper. Inside, the shelter had changed. What was once a quiet space full of tools and machines now had life. The twins, Lero and Mira, were growing faster than human babies. Within days, they began crawling and reacting to sounds. They laughed when Tom entered a room, followed him when he moved, and often fell asleep near his workbench. Watching him fix old tech, Rena watched this change closely. She said little, but her eyes always followed Tom and the children. She could see something strong had formed between them, something deep, something her people would recognize. One morning, Tom was fixing a solar panel outside when a soft beep echoed from the communication screen inside the bunker. He rushed in and saw a signal flashing. It wasn't from any Earth base. Rena stepped forward. Her voice was calm but excited. That's from my tribe. Tom looked at the screen. The signal was old and full of static, but a pattern flashed. Every few seconds a call for survivors. I sent this message long before the crash, Rena said. I didn't think anyone received it. Tom pressed a few keys, cleaning the signal. It's getting stronger. They might be close, Rena's face lit up with hope. If they are near, they'll find us soon. Tom nodded, but something inside him tightened. He looked at the twins playing near the wall. They had only known this place. this quiet shelter, and him? What will happen when they come? He asked quietly. They'll want to meet you. Rena said, and the children will show the bond. It cannot be hidden. Will they accept that? Rena hesitated. Some will. Others may not. But the bond is real. They must respect it. The next day, just before sunset, the alarm triggered. A large heat signature was approaching from the east. Tom climbed to the roof with his scope. He saw shapes in the distant stall. Lean and dressed in long desert robes. There were at least 10 of them. Moving carefully, but not in attack formation. He returned inside. They're here. Rena stood tall and brushed her clothes. She picked up the twins, one in each arm, and nodded. Let's meet them. Tom led the way to the front of the shelter. He stood beside Rena as the group of aliens stopped a few feet away. One stepped forward. He had gray-blue skin, short silver hair, and sharp eyes that scanned Tom from head to toe. I'm Iran, protector of the southern clans, the man said. I'm Tom. He replied. Iran looked at Rena and gave a respectful bow. You survived. Many thought you were lost. I survived because of him, Rena said, nodding at Tom. Iran's eyes narrowed. We heard whispers. The children were born here. Yes. Tom helped me. He saved all 3 of us. Iran looked down at the twins. Lyra reached out, pointing toward Tom. Mira gave a soft sound and leaned toward him. Iran's expression changed slightly. The bond is real, he said. Other members of the group murmured among themselves. Some nodded. Others frowned. Tom stayed quiet, letting them speak in their own language for a moment. Iran turned back to him. You understand what this means? I think so, Tom said. The children trust me. That's enough, Iran studied. Him? For them, it may be. For the tribe, it is more complicated. You are human, not one of us. But I was there, Tom said calmly. When no one else was, Rena stepped forward. He didn't just protect us. He cared. He built a safe place. He risked his life when the slavers attacked. Iran looked at her, then back at the children. Our laws are old. If the twins accept him, we cannot break that bond. But some will question it. I didn't ask for this, Tom said. But I won't walk away either. There was silence for a long moment. Then Iran nodded. Then come with us. You must face the council. They will want to see you. And the children. Tom looked at Rena. She gave a soft nod. Later that evening, the tribe set up camp near the shelter. Tents formed quickly, glowing under the stars with soft light. Tom sat beside Rena while others prepared food and spoke in quiet voices. You're calm, Rena said. Tom shrugged. Not the first time strangers have judged me. You won't be alone this time, she said. And the twins will show them. Tom glanced at the children. They were curled up near the fire, one resting on his arm, the other gripping his finger. Iran joined them quietly. Tomorrow, we travel. The council waits in the northern hills. Tom nodded. I'll be ready. You may not realize this, Iran added, but they already watch. The bond between you and the twins, it's rare, ancient. Some will respect it. Others may feel threatened, but none can ignore it. I don't care about titles, Tom said. I just care about keeping them safe. Iran gave a small smile. That may be exactly what they need. As night deepened, the desert grew quiet again. The stars above looked brighter than usual. Tom looked around at the camp, at the people, at Rena, and at the twins sleeping beside him. He didn't know what the council would decide, but he knew one thing: he wasn't just a lone scavenger anymore. He was part of something greater. The sun was just rising when the tribe packed up their camp. Tom helped fold tents and secure supplies, all while keeping an eye on the twins, Lyra and Mira. The children were growing stronger every day, and their bond with Tom seemed to deepen. With each passing moment, Rena walked beside Tom, her expression calm but serious. Today you will meet the council, she said softly. They will decide your place among us. Tom nodded. He wasn't sure what to expect. He had heard stories of ancient tribal trials tests meant to prove courage, wisdom, and honor. But this was real. He had no choice but to face it. The journey to the northern hills was quiet. The tribe moved with purpose, The twins nestled safely in Rena's arms. Tom walked near Iran. The tribe's protector, your reputation travels faster than you think, Iran said. The council will not be easy. Some among them doubt humans, others remember old wars. But your bond with the children gives you a chance, Tom sighed. I just want to protect them. Iran smiled. Then you are already on the right path. When they reached the hilltop, the tribe gathered around a circle of ancient stones. The council elders sat in a semicircle, their faces marked with age and wisdom. The air was heavy with silence and expectation. Iran stepped forward and spoke in the tribe's language. The words were sharp but respectful. Then the eldest council member, a woman with silver eyes and a calm voice, turned to Tom. You stand before us, human, she said. You carry a bond with the sacred children of our tribe. This bond cannot be taken lightly. You must prove your worth through the trial of fire. Tom looked around. The trial of fire was known to be a test of courage and wisdom. It involved guiding the twins through a dangerous path in the desert, one filled with natural hazards and old tribal challenges. Rena held Tom's hand gently. I will be with you, but you must lead. The council members nodded. One elder handed Tom a small wooden staff carved with ancient symbols. Use this to guide and protect, she said. The twins were placed in a special cradle, designed to be carried or pulled safely. The trial was not about speed but care and attention. Tom took a deep breath and stepped onto the path. The desert was harsh. Sharp stones and sudden drops made the journey difficult. The sun beat down, and the wind whipped dust into the air. But Tom moved steadily, watching the twins closely. At one point, a rockslide blocked the narrow path ahead. Tom stopped. He studied the stones, then found a way around through a small tunnel hidden behind a bush. He carefully led the cradle through the dark passage, holding his breath until he reached the other side. Further along, a sudden sandstorm blew in. The wind howled, and visibility dropped. Tom shielded the twins with a cloth and waited until the storm passed. He spoke softly to them, his voice steady and calm. You're safe, he said. I'm here. When the storm cleared, Tom heard footsteps behind him. One of the council elders had followed him to watch. You are patient, she said quietly. That is good. As the trial continued, Tom faced more challenges: a steep cliff, a rushing stream, and strange desert creatures that watched him carefully. Each time, he remained calm and thoughtful, making sure the twins were safe. At one point, a member of the tribe who had been skeptical approached the path. His eyes were cold. He challenged Tom. How can you, a human, claim to be master of our sacred children? He demanded. Prove your strength. Tom looked at the man calmly. Strength is not just muscle, he said. It is courage, care, and wisdom. Watch. Suddenly, a desert creature charged toward the group, a large, wild animal with sharp teeth and glowing eyes. The challenger froze. Tom stood in front of the cradle, raising his staff. He spoke calmly but firmly, using a low tone that seemed to calm the creature. Slowly, the animal stopped its charge and backed away. The challenger's eyes widened. You have control, he said quietly. Perhaps there is more to you. Tom nodded but did not speak. At the end of the path, the tribe gathered again. The council elders looked pleased. The eldest woman spoke. You have passed the trial of fire. You have shown courage, wisdom, and protection. You are worthy. Tom let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Rena smiled, tears in her eyes. The skeptical tribe member stepped forward and bowed his head. I was wrong. You are a protector of our children and our people. Tom looked at the twins, who were sleeping peacefully in the cradle. They are safe, he said softly, and I will keep them that way. That night, the tribe celebrated. Fires burned brightly, and music filled the air. Tom sat beside Rena and the twins, feeling something he hadn't felt in years: belonging. The pendant Rena had given him glowed softly against his chest. The stars above shone brighter than ever, as if watching a new story unfold. The morning sun rose over the northern hills, casting golden light across the tribe's camp. After the trial of fire, the air was filled with a new sense of hope and unity. The tribe had accepted Tom. The bond between him and the twins, Liro and Mira, was no longer a secret or a source of doubt. It was a symbol of a new beginning. Tom sat outside the tent where Rena and the twins rested. He watched the children, now a few weeks old, crawl and play with quiet laughter. Their glowing eyes followed him wherever he moved, their tiny hands reaching out to touch his face or hold his fingers. The strange bond felt stronger every day. Rena approached with a soft smile. "The council has given you a place among us," she said. "You are no longer just a protector. You are family." Tom looked at her, feeling the weight of those words. He had spent so many years alone, drifting from place to place. He had never imagined that one day he would be part of something like this, a tribe, a family, with children who recognized him as their master. "I don't know if I'm ready for this," he admitted quietly. Rena shook her head. "You don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing." Tom nodded slowly. "I want to be." The tribe gathered soon after, around the circle of stones where the trial had taken place. Iran stood at the front, speaking with calm authority. "Our people have lived by tradition for many generations," Iran said. "But today, we accept change. The bond between Tom and the twins is real. It is strong. It brings new hope." Murmurs of agreement rose from the crowd. Iran continued, "From this day forward, Tom will be honored as the alpha of this tribe, not because of his species, but because of his courage and the bond he shares with our future, the twins." Tom's eyes widened. "Alpha? That's unexpected." Rena smiled gently. "It means you lead us, protect us, guide us." Tom took a deep breath. The responsibility was heavy, but he felt ready. "I will do my best," he said. The tribe cheered. Softly, days passed, and Tom learned the ways of the tribe. He studied their customs, shared meals, and joined in their quiet songs under the stars. The children grew quickly. Liro began to walk, holding Tom's hand. Mira followed, her eyes bright with curiosity. One evening, as the desert wind cooled, Tom stood with Rena on a high cliff overlooking the valley. The twins played near a small fire, laughing and chasing each other. "I never thought this would be my life," Tom said, smiling softly. Rena took his hand. "Neither did I, but fate has a way of bringing people together." Tom looked out over the desert, feeling the weight of the past lift from his shoulders. The loneliness was gone. He had found purpose, family, and a place where he belonged. Suddenly, the twins ran to him, wrapping their small arms around his legs. "Master," Liro said with a bright smile. Tom knelt down and hugged them both. "Yes, I am your master, but you are my family." Rena watched, tears in her eyes. Tom stood and looked to the horizon. The sun was setting, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple. Ahead was the unknown, a future full of challenges and hope. He turned back to the tribe. "Together, we will build a new path." The tribe gathered around, voices rising in song and laughter. The twins' glowing eyes shone brightly, reflecting the firelight. Tom smiled, feeling a deep joy. For the first time in his life, he was home.